Okay, this is a tough read, number 27. At least I found it to be a tough read. I think a picture is going to be helpful, and I really do need to go to the blackboard to do it. So let me do that now. I'm going to go to the blackboard to do that problem. I'm going to get my pen out. Yep, my pen's out. And I'm not, good at drawing pictures, but I want to kind of draw what looks like, I think, a square garden to me. And this is my best job of drawing a square garden there. And then there's a patch that's in the middle. It's a concentric square, by the way. And then there's a path around that. And the path is also a square. I'm not great at drawing pictures, by the way, but, I'm just going to show this as x by x. All right? And I want to, again, emphasize to you that there's a garden here. Right, there's a green patch of grass there. And there's also a garden out here as well. It's the path in the middle. This thing over here, it's a path. It's a path that goes around that little green patch there. All right, so I'm kind of reading it, and I want to make sure you understand they're telling me some things. And those things they're telling me that the path is 4 feet wide. So what I want to do is I want to talk about, if the path is 4 feet wide, this would be 8 plus x, and this would be 8 plus x, right? They tell me something else, by the way. They tell me that the outer edge of the garden, it goes on and says it's the side of the garden, the outside edge is 16 feet less than 3 times the side of the little tiny plot in the middle. So I'll write that down for you. All right? Now what? They give me some relationships over here. So, the total area, pretty obvious, just 3x minus 16 squared. All right? I'm going to do the area outside the path. Right? Well, that's going to be, let's see, it's going to be 3x minus 16 squared. I want to point out what we're doing over here. We're talking about the stuff on the outside, just over here. That's all we're talking about. And then I'm going to have to subtract away. Well, it's going to be 8 plus x squared. Well, I got to do that. I got to simplify that. And that's going to be equal to 9 x squared. I gotta be careful now. And then you're gonna get minus 48 and 48, 96x plus 256 minus 64 minus 16x minus x squared. Well, I'm going to continue to simplify that, and you get 8x squared minus 112x. All right, I got to be careful here, right? Make sure I counted for everything. Let me get my pen out. Oh, let me just continue, and then I'll talk about it. And that's going to be what? Plus, let's see, it looks like 192, right? Let me see if that's true. Yeah, 256. All right, let me see if I've accounted for everything. Get my little red pen out. And 9x squared minus x squared is 8x squared. That looks pretty good. Minus 96 minus 16 is minus 112. And 256 minus 64 is 192. And this is the area outside the path. Let's keep reading it. It says, the area of the garden outside the path exceeds. Well, I'll write that down now. So this exceeds somebody by 768 feet, square feet. What does it exceed? The area of the path. Well, the area of the path, I'll write this over here, is going to be 8 plus x squared minus x squared. That's the area of the path. And the path is just this part over here. That's all that is, this part here. All right? I think I can do that. And what does that give you? 64 plus 16x plus x squared minus x squared. What does that give me? 64 plus 16x. And again, that's the area of the path. So again, this area outside the path exceeds the area of the path. Well, the other path is 64 plus 16x by 768. All right, now I'm at the stage where I got an equation, and I think I can handle it. And I got to be careful, though, don't I? So 8x squared. And then I'm going to subtract 16x from both sides. That's minus 128x. So I got this accounted for, this accounted for, this accounted for. And now I got those things. Again, I'm not opposed to using a calculator. So let me write this down, and I'll put it on the side. So it's 7, 6, 8, and 64. That's going to be 12. 6 and 6 is 12, 13. And that's going to be 832. And I can take 192 from that. Well, that's 0. And this will become a 7. This is a 13. Let's see, you get 40, right? I'm sorry, 4. I mean, it is 40, but I would say 4 because 9 from 13 is 4. And then 6. So what goes over here? Minus 640 equals 0. And again, I realize these look like awful numbers, and they do. But I think I can reduce the complexity of this by dividing by 8. And I'm hoping this thing's going to work out nice. I'm dividing by 8. Does 8 go into 128? Let's see. Let's put this down. You know what? I'm going to erase my old arithmetic over here. I don't need it anymore. Well, let's take a look at that. 1, 8, then you get 48, and that's a 6. Well, that's not bad. And then when you get over here, 8 to 640 is going to be 80. All right. Well, things are getting better. I'm not saying they're perfect, but I think I can handle it. And I'll write this down now. X, push this to the side. And I am going to say 4 and 20, because 4 times 20 is 80, and they differ by 16. I have 2 answers. Minus 4, which is ridiculous, because it's a physical plot. It couldn't be minus 4. X equals 20. Now, someone says, I don't remember the question. Find the dimensions of the garden. And the dimensions of the garden, I want to remind you, is this thing over here. And it's a square garden. So if I know one dimension, I know the other. So I got to put this down. What's 3 times 20? That's 60 minus 16. Let me write that down for you. 60 minus 16 is going to be 44. So the garden is 44 feet by 44 feet. I do recommend that you look at the answer key to verify this. Now, I realize some people look at the answer key and say, you're a little bit different. Yeah, sometimes I write things a little bit differently. There's no doubt about it, but it's an equivalent statement. At the end of it, does it say 44 feet by 44 feet? It sure does. And we're done. Thank you.